Hi, I'm Zach. Today, I'm going to talk about getting high and how I get high now without weed and how I get the same exact feelings and more, much, much more beyond the high I was chasing to keep my peace and to keep a pleasant, blissful feeling inside of myself, or a focused way of being, or even pain relief. I'm going to explain some things that I do, but also the things that no longer come with it. Because whenever I smoked weed to get this high, not only was I spending money, but there were other things that went along with smoking weed that diminish the value of smoking weed and diminish exactly what I was going for whenever I smoked weed. So, in a way, smoking weed wasn't even giving me what I wanted. And now that I'm going about a different path towards highness, I'm getting more of what I wanted. And more things that I didn't even know I wanted. Things that I forgot about that were even there. So, I've smoked weed since I was 13 years old. And I've quit a couple times. And some of those times, I dove into meditation and yoga. And at the end of this video, I'll explain exactly what I'm doing or the practices. Not exactly, but I'll point you in the direction. So if you want to check it out and see if it works for you, experiment with it, then you're free to. It's not anything that I came up with. But mainly, I'm going to talk about how smoking weed wasn't giving me anything. So I would smoke weed at the end of the day to sometimes at the very beginning of the day or in the middle of the day and all day. But for the most part, it was at the end of the day. And I would smoke weed to stay inside my comfort zone, to escape, to get into the zone and focus on creating music and videos. But smoking weed, I felt, helped me have that one-track mind, so I didn't constantly have a mind that was going everywhere. And it also helped me escape from the pain that I was feeling about life, and I still feel it. I'm not all the way there yet, but I've come a long way in the past 3 weeks. And I was smoking weed, chasing this high, not knowing it was actually bringing me low. Because as much as I thought smoking weed was a way for me to raise my consciousness or become higher and more focused, sure, I was feeling some bliss and some pleasant feelings, but it also came with taking away my memory, taking away my focus, even though it seemed like it helped me focus, and it did, but there's multiple dimensions to being able to focus, and there's like a one-track focused mind, and then there's being able to focus on multiple things and see the bigger picture of things, and at the same time, whenever I choose to, be able to focus very, very fine-tuned focused. And so smoking weed was giving me a very small amount of bliss and pleasantness, but the more and the longer I smoked it, the less of that I would get, so the more I would have to smoke. So it was draining my wallet, And it was draining my ability to manage my emotions and create that pleasantness on my own, which happens naturally. Whenever I don't put chemicals or processed foods and all types of stuff inside my body, and it's just naturally in a state where it feels good, then what happens is that blissfulness and that pleasantness. And then any moment that I breathe in deeply and I just consciously, even if I think about it or imagine it for a second, my body starts to actually create the experience. And so any moment now, I can breathe in and breathe out, just like whenever I was taking a hit. And I feel that head rush. I feel the high, but with much more clarity and focus and awareness. And so, multiple times in my life, whenever I've gone back to smoking after quitting, and I've noticed this, I have those things, but on a smaller level. And what the weed does to me is it actually starts to take away the power and ability inside my mind. And I see this as, bliss and a good thing in the moment, because usually what makes me go back to smoking is stress. And so, in a way, that's a solution. It's like a Band-Aid to an open wound. It dumbs down my mind. That's why I said it's not really like getting high. It's getting lower than the intellect and the mind. And so whenever I smoke, I dumb down my mind, and I'm not able to focus and really think about the pain and everything that's going on in my mind and body that's causing me pain. And so I see it as a solution for that 30 minutes to an hour, maybe 3 hours, depending upon how long that strong high lasts. But as soon as it starts to die down, then, the pain comes back. And so I smoke more, and I smoke more, and it's just a constant cycle that actually makes me go deeper and deeper and lower. My memory gets lower and lower, and it's hard to notice because it's very gradual. And of course, if I go all day without smoking and then I smoke, it feels good once I smoke, because at that point, whenever I'm used to it, then throughout the day I'm just building up all this stress and anxiety, and I've built up this state of mind thinking that I need the weed to be peaceful, to be blissful, to get that feeling. And so whenever I actually stopped smoking and I started taking more care of this mind and body and putting more attention, or less attention, I should say, and giving myself more space from the psychological process, not trying to drown it out or push it away, but not being completely consumed by it and allowing it to just go all over the place, the pain goes away. The pain I was chasing goes away. Whenever I take care of myself and I do that, and I put the attention with the breath and the practices, then not only am I high every single time I breathe in, I'm high throughout the day, but I'm feeling even deeper experiences and emotions, more compassion, more fulfillment, things that whenever I was smoking, it dumbed down my mind and emotions in a way to where I wasn't diving that deep and feeling that deep of life, that deep of focus and that much of a high. I'm actually getting high. I'm transcending my intellect, which is one of the biggest things that causes suffering for me and you, likely. The other thing is the body, of course. And so after the withdrawals passed, and I'm still going through some withdrawals, but not a majority of them from nicotine, and probably not caffeine. It's probably all nicotine now. There's psychological withdrawals with weed, but they're very weak now, especially since I do daily yoga and meditation. Mostly meditation. I don't do yoga every single day yet. I'm gradually getting there. But as I invest more of my attention towards these practices and just being more conscious of my every single choice in life and of as many breaths as I can during the day, being conscious of the fact that I could die any second. I'm mortal. We're all mortals here. So creating more gratefulness with that thought, being conscious of the fact that the whole universe doesn't revolve around me. Anytime I start to feel overwhelmed or I start to spiral down into the thought process and it starts to kind of hook me, because it does that throughout the day a lot. I have not transcended my thought process or anything yet. I've come a long way in 3 weeks. But anytime that happens, one thing that has helped me a lot is bird's eye view, really looking at how small I am inside the universe. Thinking about all the planets, all the empty space that's being filled with matter and many other things that I just don't even understand. There's no way I'll ever understand. And just thinking about it, not in a negative or positive way, it really takes the pressure off. I'm no longer against the universe. I'm kind of just looking at it like, you know, the universe is still going. So if the planets are still spinning, the galaxies are still there, it's all good. And of course that doesn't mean escape away from responsibilities, escape away from the pain I was feeling. But it allows me to face it with a clearer mind and not in a way where I feel like I'm the center of the universe and where that thought process hooks me in and then starts spiraling down and then my emotions and thoughts start going everywhere. And so, not only am I feeling the high that I was chasing, and deeper emotions and experiences in life full of compassion and fulfillment and just bliss and wonder for what this is. But I'm also letting go of a lot of the baggage that came with smoking. And the thought processes that went along with not just smoking. It's not just about smoking. It's a huge part of it is the fact that I consciously made the choice to evaluate and really grow as a human being in every aspect of my life. And so it's a process. It's like a seed growing. And it's starting to sprout. And it's something you can't put into words. And you won't really know what it's like until you actually try it yourself. If you're smoking now on a daily basis, your mind, your intellect is gonna make you think and feel a lot of different ways that isn't really reality and that will keep you inside of a box, which is what I was doing. I was staying in my comfort zone, and I would justify it by doing things that meant a lot to me and doing things where I could logically look at my life and say, look, I'm moving forward. I'm still uploading YouTube videos consistently. I'm still going to work. I'm still being the best father I can and doing all these things that I can write down on a piece of paper. I can show, like it shows that I'm obviously still making progress and the weed's not holding these things back, so what's the problem? But as soon as I let go of it, I realized that the ceiling that I made for myself saying, all right, I'm doing this much, so I'm doing all right. I can easily pass that every single day. I'm waking up so much earlier on my off days, easily, with ease. And not that it's the main point or focus, but I'm getting so much more done in the first 2 hours of the day than I did in the first 7 hours of the day whenever I smoked weed. And I was a very functional stoner. I worked hard then too. But then it was like grinding. It was like working hard and so much more tension. Now it's no longer tension. Now I'm just with ease and consciously doing things without spending my energy on thoughts and emotions that I didn't realize were taking away a lot of my energy. It's a whole basket of things. I mean, it's what I eat, the processed foods, it's the constant thoughts and emotions that I'm creating within myself. And of course, I can't always just switch my emotion or just choose my emotion, but I can choose the thoughts, I think, for the most part. And whenever a certain thought starts to spiral in, I can't always choose the thoughts, I think. And that's not how the mind isn't necessarily meant to be. And it's not about control. But I don't focus on it as much, so it doesn't go out of control and take a hold of me and take me with it. And so I can consciously create a certain thought process and feeling inside of myself over time throughout the day. And even as these challenges come up and they take me away for a second, and still anger, resentment, certain things that are still inside of me do come up. And in the past I would have smoked and felt okay and just focused on some task and then moved on, and then the anger and resentment would come up again multiple times throughout the day, and it would be even worse, or I wouldn't have dealt or worked on it. But now, maybe worked on it isn't the right word. Now that I'm putting attention to it, it's like it's dissolving. Or I'm putting less attention to it, less attention to my state of mind, or less attention to my thought process and intellect, and just more attention to the wonder and empty space in life and this existence. And more attention to maybe less logical things that help create more bliss and joy. And so I don't know what I'm talking about exactly. That's another thing. Admitting my ignorance throughout the day and just letting go. Like, I don't know. Not needing to be right. Especially in social situations. Especially in those situations where resentment and rage and there's two sides to things. Just letting go. It's okay. I don't know. It's okay. The world doesn't revolve around me. The universe doesn't revolve around me. This life, my experience, It doesn't have to be about me. So now I no longer have the desire to smoke weed. Now that I've gone this deep and actually this high, I'm feeling higher than before. And it's way cheaper. I'm saving a lot more money getting high like this. And it's a way better high. This stuff it's good stuff. And there's more to it. There's so much more to it. And so I must say that the yoga, meditation, and certain things that I've done have been inspired by a man that the vegan community hasn't always liked. And his name's Sadhguru. And I don't agree and believe everything he says, but he has a lot of tools, simple 5-minute meditations for even just thought processes, even little things to do throughout the day, or a 15-minute meditation if you're willing to go that far. That helps out a lot. And I think that's very important and an incredible thing and very needed in this world in so many ways. So I would say, if you want to try to feel more bliss, to let go of things that are creating suffering, or just experiment with whatever he's got going on, there's an app called Miracle of Mind. I'll leave a link in the description. There's also the Sadhguru app. So Miracle of Mind has like a 7-minute meditation that I do every morning. There's also a free, this is all free too. There's also a free meditation that's 15 minutes, Isha Kriya. And if you do them without any expectations, just once a day, you'll feel results if you do it every single day. I mean, everybody's different. You might even feel it on the first, second, or third day. But if you stay consistent, get the Miracle of Mind app or Sadhguru app, do the free tools that are offered, and you don't have to believe everything the guy says. You don't have to agree with everything he says. But these tools, that's the way I look at it. It's a tool to actually create myself, or create this mind and this body the way I want it to be. In a pleasant way. In a way where my mind is sharp, my intellect is sharp. I can think right. I can have joy and blissfulness. I cannot be affected by other people. And I still have a lot to do, or a lot that I need to let go of and not do. But again, I've come a long way. It's not necessarily a journey. See, I don't explain things logically exactly how they are, but it's benefited me a lot. And I'm going to continue to do it and grow as a human being and blossom some fruit. And continue to make my life pleasant, more compassionate, more fulfilling, and experience deeper experiences and do that for others around me. And you can do it too. Thank you for watching. For the animals! Woo!